having a crack. Tom and Jack having a crack.
Welcome back to Having the Crack. Joined again by Mr. Dave Anthony and Adam Kumas. How you doing, lads?
What's up, boys? Back
Good,
in the
man.
house.
Yeah, good. Yeah, how are you?
Yeah, I'm great. I feel like we all have tales to tell, stories to dive into.
I got nothing, but
You got nothing?
I'll figure something out. Don't worry about it.
in that hat, I don't believe you, Dave.
Yeah.
I got nothing.
Okay, now I believe it. I believe it. Yeah, nothing else.
And we got Sang on the ones and twos. How you doing, pal?
All good. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Thanks, Shy. It's first day on the job. Too.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't know you were going to talk to me.
He's been not.
Just in general, we've been ignoring him the last 40 minutes.
Yeah, this is a really rough podcast hazing for Sang.
Yeah.
Just asking how he is. He's like, I wasn't expecting this. I don't know how to answer that.
The mics are on, aren't they, Sam? Yeah.
Yeah.
What am I?
That's good. See,
This guy.
He's jumping on the
This
bits.
guy.
He likes the bits.
He's riffing away. So, Adam, you came in with something that was like on top of your mind. You wanted to
Yeah,
talk
so
about.
I wanted to talk about something, and I'd like to say, what did I say? One of my friends shared an article with me, and he calls himself an ex-fat person. So he used to be really overweight. Like he's like, I think it was upwards about 20 stone, and he lost all of his weight through sort of exercise and not eating. Amazing, actually, that combination. It always seems to work. Like if anyone's struggling out there, that's the winning combination. Eat less, move more. But he shared an article. Like he's obviously been someone who's chronically overweight, and he shared this article. I think, hang on, let me see if I can get it. It was a bill passed in New York, and it was New York City has passed a bill outlawing discrimination based on weight, joining a growing movement in the U.S. to make size a protected trait on par with race and gender. And that's just so first of all, I would just like to say before I start ripping into these people, I don't think discrimination is ever nice. I do think saying being overweight or being fat is on the same level as race and gender. That to me, that's a very funny concept. I don't, maybe I'm out of touch, but that's hilarious.
You can exercise your way out of being black.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. well, that's because that's the premise. The premise is like you can change it. It's mutable.
yeah.
Because I guess the argument they're trying to make is weight is not changeable. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm a prisoner to it.
Well, it's a
which
bit.
is
I mean, where does it stop? Let's forget about being overweight, but let's say it's just you like pissing in the street. And
I actually I love pissing.
and you should be discriminated against for that.
I understand that. I don't actually disagree with it.
Or if you smell, like for example, if someone smells, and if they're a friend, you'll be like, fucking put some deodorant on, mate.
Yeah.
Imagine they go, no, that's my right to smell.
You ever had to tell
Don't
someone that?
discriminate. Huh?
Have you ever had to tell someone that?
Many
I've
of
had to tell
my
two
close
people
friends.
that. It's brutal, isn't it?
No.
No?
If they're good
You know what? I
friends-
realised I'm talking to the wrong person. Any normal person would be like, yeah, it's a horrible experience. No one likes to say it. You're like, I
love
actually
it.
look back at that as one of my fondest memories. Sometimes when I'm trying to sleep at night, I think about that to like put me in a nice place. But that time when you just went up to Mo and was like, you fucking stink, man.
Yeah.
I just picked Mo. No, you know what? I picked Mo because I knew that I could say anything about Mo and he'd take it. He'd be like, you dickhead."
Well, I've definitely done that too.
He'll internalize it and it will destroy him. But
Yeah, no, but I think it's more malicious if a close friend of yours stinks and you don't tell them.
No,
That's more insidious.
Yeah.
Just be like, one of my close friends, a comic that we all know. He was stinking, and I was just like, dude, fucking cover it up, man.
Yeah.
And I won't mention who he was, but he had his
Wait,
keyboard
why don't you
out.
mention who?
And it's
Oh,
like-
Oh. You know what's crazy? That's the same person I was thinking of.
I know. And I said, look, here you go. And he was like, oh, thanks for telling me.
Huge Davis. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I don't know Huge at all.
Yeah. MC Hammersmith really smells.
Who?
MC Hammersmith.
I don't know who that is.
You know who MC Hammersmith is?
No.
Oh, mate, he's a comic sensation, MC Hammersmith.
Really?
Yeah.
What, over here?
Yeah, he's Britain's Got Talent.
Never heard of him.
You never
Is it a
heard of him?
musical?
I know
Is it a
Robert
musical
White.
comedian?
Robert White's a keyboard sensation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it a musical comedian?
Yeah, he's a rapper,
Hang
yeah.
on, there was
Yeah,
two
that's
people.
why,
with
that's why I haven't
keyboards
heard
who
of
did-
him. I don't.
who did-
I hate that. No offense, Sang.
Hang
I don't
on,
know
do you
if
have- do you
beatboxing
have-
counts, does it?
I'm a pure comedian.
He is.
Thanks
But you
for
do the
pure-
beatboxing thing, and I
not a
thought
hack.
that
I just do accents.
not a hack.
No.
Yeah.
I'll stand by that.
How long is the beatboxing bit? Because I saw it the other day. But how?
It's supposed to be a sugar.
Sang, why
on
don't you
the
come and sit over here?
no. It's sorry. I can make it short. Or I can.
How
do,
long
I,
is it? That was the question.
Okay, 1 minute.
See, and it's impressive because I liked it. But when I was watching, the two thoughts going in my head. The first thought was, that's fucking amazing, and I love beatboxing, and I would love to maybe commission Sang to like do an intro for something with a beatbox sound. And the other bit was like, that is a minute they're not laughing, and at the end they give you a round of applause, but like, actually no, it does. You do set it up for laughs, don't you?
I've included sharper punchlines into the beatboxing. By the way, Tom, sorry, I'm also a beatboxer and comedian. I didn't want to leave you.
Are you a beatboxer?
No.
Wow.
No, but the way he said that sounded like,
Yeah,
I'm not stepping on your shit. I'm not stepping on your shit, Tom.
Just run this down for 2 beatboxing comedians.
Dave, why are you still wearing flat caps at the age of 30?
Yeah, you brought this up earlier. I think it's a perfectly acceptable age to wear a flat cap. Also, I'm a bald man. They're a practical thing.
It's working out. Dwayne Johnson's looking pretty good.
Yeah. I'm not The Rock, am I? Well, see, he looks like
Not with that attitude.
Not with that. Yeah.
And nor will you be.
You brought it up with me before. I think the problem is that you're bringing it up in a way that like it's gonna sort of annoy me.
Well, because you brought it up today.
I did bring it up today because
I wish it made me happy because I thought that's been eaten away.
you said something else that I shouldn't be doing at the age of 30.
I don't know.
What was it?
Do you know what? None of these are personal. It's just enough to piss you off.
No, but that's what I was saying. I think you're doing it because you think it's going to piss me off.
And in the fact that you remembered it today.
I remember everything.
Do you?
Yeah.
That's weird. I forget
I've
most
incredibly
interactions
good
with
memory.
people.
That must be horrible. Just like,
Yeah, I could never shut off.
yeah.
That's why I'm
You know
so
that's not
tired.
actually good for you. Your brain is constantly shutting out.
I'm very aware, Adam. Yes, I'm very aware. I never forget anything.
I haven't
and
slept in 4 years.
Yes, look at me. I'm very tired all the time. Genuinely. I've just literally explained to you earlier as well that I've just been in an anxiety hole for 2 days because I can't forget.
I didn't mention that.
Yeah, I know.
So speaking of elephants, don't forget the fatty's in New York.
Mm.
Do we?
Let's bring it back on topic.
Yeah.
Back on topic.
Yeah. No, but I'm interested, genuinely interested, because my first question was, I don't know what you thought, was what are they being discriminated against
Well, there
was
one on the article, and this is a BBC article, so you know it's not from Daily Mail or anything.
Okay.
Somebody was saying that some of them have felt discriminated against in restaurants because they can't fit in regular chairs. I'm not even joking. That was regular chairs.
Oh, that's so funny.
It's a funny.
But that's
thing.
exactly. It's just always going to be the funniest examples. That's the sad thing about being discriminated. If you're a fat person, is that every sort of possible form of discrimination for fat people is funny.
Yeah.
It's comical.
Yeah.
Like, well, I guess not yelled at in the street or something, but
No.
but not being able to fit in chairs.
No, because discrimination.
Not being able to fit through doors.
Yeah. I mean, that's like me. I'm 5'7" on a good day. That's like me saying concerts are heightest.
Yeah, because you can't see.
Or roller coasters.
Or roller coasters in my case. Yeah, roller
yeah.
coasters. I've been able to go to Disneyland my entire life.
That's yeah. Roller coasters are amazing.
Yeah.
So.
Thanks for rubbing that in.
Again, though, can't do them after your 30s, so you know.
Yeah.
My heights anyway. Didn't like them.
Yeah, because it's really just a
planes as well. Getting on planes.
Well, planes are good for me.
Oh, okay.
Because you know,
safe base.
You get tucked in.
You get tucked in,
Yeah.
basically.
You're not that small, are you, Tom? How tall are you?
5'7".
Oh, okay. I guess like because I when I look when we're standing up and we're talking, I'm not looking at you going, God, you're small.
No, you're not noticeably.
But
short,
you know what
guy.
it is? When you said 5'7", I'm just in my head. I'm internalizing all the stuff all the time. Women are just like nothing less than 6 foot. Nothing less than 6 foot. So when you hear 5'7", you're like, oh, that's quite a way off 6 foot when you measure it like that.
So I did an experiment the other day. I've deleted the dating apps. I'm just like not having it anymore.
Okay.
But before I got off them, I did a thing where I changed my height to 5'11".
Oh, go on.
Increase in matches.
No way.
Of course.
Ain't that funny?
Almost
I thought
overnight.
Women are supposed to judge you for how you are on the inside.
No,
No,
that's just bollocks. They tell you at school.
No.
That's not real.
Yeah.
I did this gig the other day, and I do want to hear the rest. That's fucking fascinating. I did this gig the other day. It was a dating night. It was one of those, you know, that dating app Thursday.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
It was one where they do it. You go to the Thursday event. It's a comedy night.
Right.
So I was there, and then the host asks one of the ladies there, what do you look for in a guy? And not unironically, she just kind of goes, 6'4" rugby player. And she was in her late 40s.
Mm.
And I said, you're probably not going to get that. And if you do, he'll be old and he'll have CTE.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but you're not going to get a young anyway. And then she was like very unapologetic. And then a lot of guys were just a lot of women were just like, oh, that's really bad. It's setting us up. But she was honest. She said what she wanted.
I think the world worked better when people just lived and died in like a 30-mile radius. I think that made more sense.
Because it was like high school like dodgeball selection. It was like even if you're terrible, by the end of it, it's just you two.
Someone's left.
Someone's left, and you're just gonna get.
How bad was that though? I used to get picked last in PE for football because I was so bad. Still I am.
Oh, really?
I wanted to improve. Yeah.
Oh, I was never first pick, but I was always sort of around just the top of the
No,
middle
because
section.
especially in school, I didn't make an effort to make friends with the cool kids because I was quite happy in my nerd group. So it was like it was. You was typically on who's going to be the most have the most athletic prowess.
Yes.
And then after that, it was just who are we bros with? Right, so and so shit, but he's also funny. And I deliberately didn't make any friends with any of the jocks whenever it came to playing football.
See, I was useless at football, and everyone knew I was useless at football.
Both losers.
But everyone kind of liked me, so I used to.
Really?
Yeah.
That's very surprising.
Really? Why? This is funny actually because I remember the other day. I told you I remember everything. The other day. The other day, like you said, like
this is me just chatting shit, Dave.
I know. But we were at Spoons the other day.
Don't pick apart my insult.
No. You said like, oh, I'm more immediately likable than you. Just said like you're more immediately likable than me, and I just let it lie. But I was like, that's absolutely not true at all.
Sang, you've met us both. Who's more likable, David? And by the way, just know that our friendship relies on this. But who would you say is more immediately likable between me and Dave?
Right? Who can get me a passport?
Yeah.
No, he has.
David.
Sang, I'm not even lying to you. He doesn't even have his own fucking passport. There's no way.
I do not have a valid passport. Because why would I leave this beautiful country ever?
Whereas I have my own passport.
You know what? That's such a lovely sentiment when you say it with like your face.
Yes, that's
Can you take the cup off? Yeah.
This is the greatest country in the world. I don't ever want to leave.
Different vibe.
And he's got 12 minutes on Wetherspoons to prove it.
And you're more likable. Immediately likable.
I am.
I think over the long term, sure, but immediately, no.
No, immediately.
I've got a nicer smile.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But my teeth are in the right place.
Adam's talking
It's
pre-conversation.
not necessarily true. I don't know why you got such confidence in your teeth. I'm looking at them right now. In fairness, you have all of yours. I don't have all of mine.
Well, that's the thing. I'm 32, baby.
It's not really a matter of teeth, though, is it? That's not really a matter when you meet someone. You're like,
Spoken like a
whoa.
true
Before we
crackhead.
start talking, let's have a look at your teeth.
It's not really a matter of fucking teeth.
What do they say? Don't look a gift horse in the mouth.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I am a gift horse. I'm a gift.
Oh, that is unbelievably good.
How do we get onto that from fatties? Like,
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's all about riffing, baby. Just let it go where it goes.
The fucking weight challenge.
It's like meditation. Doesn't matter. Let it go. In
You've
places
never
and bring it
meditated
back.
in your
Are you
life.
kidding me? I meditate for 20 minutes every day.
Do you really?
Yes.
20 minutes?
Yes.
That's a panic attack. Are you going to yoga and actually doing meditation?
No. I'm in meditation dude, I'm a fucking recovery guy. Like, yeah, of course I meditate.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
That's impressive.
But I did it before then as well. I've been doing it for years.
Have you ever tried it?
I did. Yeah, I did yoga when I was like 17 and 18, and I got kicked out of the class. Not because I wasn't nailing the yoga positions. It was, at the end of some of these yoga classes, they do the whole very serious namaste breathing.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of middle class white women sort of like, getting in touch with their feelings. And I burst out laughing during the bit. And it was one of the things where you try to suppress the laugh, and the more you suppressed it, the more it choked up.
Yeah.
It was just like, I ended up just laughing. And then she was like, this is ridiculous. And then she goes, would you mind leaving? I was like, yeah, absolutely. I saw myself out. I haven't been back in 15 years.
That's very, very fair.
So you can't handle meditation.
No, I nailed the fucking stretch, all the easy stuff. It was just the taking yourself, like breathing's fine. It's just that it was the taking yourself seriously and pretending that you were in this fucking virgin active gym, that you were really having a moment with spirit.
You got to read the room. In those ones, you just got to be like, everyone come together and thank you very much for the cheers.
Yes.
If you go into like a proper spiritually place, then fine, fair enough. I'm with you. It's like the A13's outside.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't.
You were bitching about the vending
point.
machines like 30 minutes
That's
ago.
the point. You have to, that's how you learn to do it. You have to switch that stuff.
I hate the fact that
So,
you've been meditating.
I like to meditate. I try and meditate also, but I can't do 20 minutes. I'm like 5
I do
minutes.
about 20,
Oh, you've got
25
shit
minutes.
to do, Tom.
I do about 20, 25 minutes.
That's impressive. That's really impressive.
Depending on the day. Sometimes I just don't have the focus at all, and I duck out at about 15 minutes.
So when you're meditating, so like obviously that could be used for sleeping or something a bit more important. But let's say
could be used for sleeping or something more important.
yeah, but like
It's a different function, Adam.
so let's say
When you walk into the shops, you could be sleeping in that time. It's a different thing.
Yeah, but you're going to the shops to actually get something.
Yeah.
You can run. I'm very relaxed when I'm asleep.
Yeah. But it's a different thing from meditation.
So when you're meditating, you're doing it in the middle of the day, and
No,
are you just
Do
thinking
it first
about?
thing in the morning.
See, I just get the extra sleep. That's much more beneficial.
It does. It's a different
Yeah,
thing.
it's a different thing.
It's a totally different thing.
You get more benefits from sleep, I'm sure.
No, it's a different
Where's Jack
thing.
when you need him? With his
Yeah.
fucking
Oh, that's
sleep,
true.
his
Jack
sleep-
was the.
with his sleep stats.
sleep
He's-
It does a different thing. Like when you're sleeping, your subconscious is still just like basically completely running wild, and you're not sort of. The idea is to try and sort of calm your brain so that for the rest of the day you're not constantly jabbering at yourself.
How's that working out? Is that working out?
Comes and goes, but like it's better than not doing it.
I'm doing just fine.
I don't think you are, man. I don't think anything.
If that's
About any conversation I've had with you is indication that there's nothing.
Doing just fine, David.
You're doing fine.
do you not think that should be the title of Adam's first special?
Doing just fine.
But with that face, like I'm doing just fine.
Yeah.
Just fine.
Definitely not a series of character flaws that he's disguising as just a choice. Like, no, I'm just a toxic person. I'm like, no, that's stuff you need to work on. That's stuff that like an adult would look at objectively and try and work on.
Like,
But that's fine.
like losing weight, for instance. Yeah.
Hey, I'm losing weight actually. I've got the fucking stats to prove it.
Yeah.
And I mean, actually, barring Sang, I think I'm leaner than you two.
I'm sure you
boys.
are.
There we go. This is hang on, is it someone else? Look at this. This is how neurotic I am. I've been monitoring my stuff every day, pretty much for the last. And this goes on for years.
And is this weight we're looking
Just
at?
wait, just
okay,
wait,
right.
wait. Just wait.
Yeah.
So I'm like currently 91.6 kilograms.
Yeah.
Trying to get down to 80.
Yeah.
At my heaviest during the pandemic, I was 103.
Yeah, that's a big drop.
Yeah, big drop. I'm trying to
Yeah.
get down to 80 because, trying to be less.
Yeah, good goals. But I'm with you. That's why the fat thing is really frustrating. Because I've struggled with my weight my whole life. I know exactly why. When I have lean periods, I know exactly why I'm lean.
Yeah.
When I have chunky periods, I know exactly
It's
why.
meditating.
I never struggled with it until about sort of 5 or 6 months leading up to the pandemic. And
Right.
we've already talked about why on
Yeah.
this podcast. So we
Yeah.
don't need to go back over it.
Yeah.
But
You
Yeah.
weren't meditating enough. That was it.
in a sort of broader sense, yes.
Mm.
But yeah, no, it was always like rail thing before that.
Yeah.
But that's why it's frustrating, and it is not equatable to any of those other things that they talk about.
Yeah.
There's like it's like a lot of issues in culture these days. There's a tiny percentage of people for whom it is like a genetic problem or a thyroid issue.
And look, my point is, even with the thyroid issue, first of all, I want to caveat by saying, never bully anyone for how they look. Just judge them silently in your head, like I do. Like,
Yeah.
don't.
That's not
don't
true.
Come out and say that.
That's not true. You always openly bully people
With
about
friends.
That's how we met.
Yeah.
Not on the, but not on the street. If some random person's on a fucking buggy,
Yeah.
I'm not going to go, oi, that's disgusting
Yeah.
behaviour. I will think, Jesus Christ, I never want to get to that.
Don't do it to random people. Just do it to people that you're close with, whose
100%,
opinion
you love them.
they would take on board.
Yeah, because it's all good.
Yeah.
But then, what was you saying about the losing weight?
That you sort of know why you're.
Oh yeah, so even the people with thyroids, they go, because everyone kind of goes, I'm that 1% of the thyroid person. Like even those people who are like marvels to like modern medicine, guaranteed, lock them in a room, no food, they will lose weight.
So I've got a friend. No.
They will lose
No,
weight.
yeah, of course.
They're not self-sustaining. It's not.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
you're-
You starve people, they will lose weight.
You're
So
100%.
there's still
That's
no
correct.
excuse. You might have to eat.
These are all correct statements.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's
So I don't
denying
understand.
that.
Like, I have a thyroid.
If you
issue.
lock people away and give them no
And I'm
access to
not
food
even
or water, they
advocating
will
that, I'm just
shrivel up
saying-
and die.
I'm just saying.
He's been reading Mein Kampf again.
Oh God! Great book. Such a brilliant painter. All the watercolors.
That's the main thing everyone knows him for, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Jesus.
No, but I've got a friend you've reminded me who has that issue, and yeah, he got a personal trainer every day,
Oh, you had the thyroid issue.
and he's struggled. He's still like you would,
Of course.
but he's for him doing great,
Amazing.
doing really well, and he feels really good about himself
Yeah.
as a result.
What is this? I genuinely have no idea what a thyroid is.
Controls your metabolism. Yeah,
I just did that.
Ah.
I don't know what the fuck it is. I just know.
it is.
Yeah.
Yes,
It seems to make sense though, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's up in there. It's up in there.
It's up in there somewhere.
Yeah.
It's up in
Just
there
that
somewhere.
general
That
region.
You can activate
Yeah.
it during like lucid moments of meditation. I've heard.
Can you? Yeah. What does it do when you activate it?
Makes a squeaky noise. plays a crazy frog theme tune. It's really
90s,
it's a fun gland.
early noughties.
I would love it if you started meditating regularly, and
I probably would. I'm a
it
fucking hypocrite like that.
You'd probably be like really nice. I think you'd.
And I
enjoy it.
also
And then
believe,
advocate hard for it, wouldn't he? After
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I also believe. No, I wouldn't want anyone else to get better.
I want everyone else to stay worse, so it makes me seem even better. Yeah.
Like for example, like I regularly shit on people who get therapy, but I know for a fact therapy would probably help me.
Yeah, probably.
Mm.
Yeah.
Why the fuck would I want to do that?
I don't know, mate.
Don't become more well-adjusted and boring.
You don't want to become well adjusted?
No.
I don't think you become boring.
Do you
Yeah, they do.
do you worry about that being sort of in some sort of turmoil helps with the comedy and removing the turmoil?
I hate to sound like an arse because I feel like that's all. I don't want to be that my God, tortured artist. Man.
Yeah.
But I also just think like, not everything needs to be solved. Not every I think back in the day when I thought of therapy, it was like, you're suffering from PTSD, you've got trauma, you've seen someone killed in front of you. And it's like, oh, my job in marketing isn't just, I'm getting a bit stressed, I just need to go to therapy. It's like, oh, fuck off. Like, you're not, there's real people who have therapy, and I don't mind if you're paying for it out of your own pocket, stimulate the economy as much as you want. But like if you're taking it from the NHS and like there's people who genuinely need it, then that resource isn't for you.
Yeah. I think it's kind of like like how like meditation, I think it's like going to the gym. Or like running. It's something anyone can do. There's loads of free.
You're saying that three people who've never been to the gym. Sag?
Believe me.
4 people.
Yeah. And
I go to the gym all the time.
yes.
Oh really? Good.
Yeah.
I cycle every single
That's
day.
rude for me to go,
Yeah.
oh really? I
Same,
can't
I
see
go to
your
the gym
body.
every single day. Yeah.
I cycle every day.
That's not the gym though, is it?
Yeah.
It's just getting about.
I mean, a lot of people go to
Cycling
the
is
gym
just
and
an extension
cycle.
of poverty. If you can afford it, you get abs.
That's so dumb. That's so
That's a
dumb.
great
It's just me fucking ripping and saying shit. You gotta understand, I'm just trying to be funny.
No, exactly. Oh, I know you're trying. I'm very aware you're trying.
Everyone else was laughing, okay?
That's not the problem.
I was.
I know what you're trying to do. Just do it. Don't try it.
Oh my god.
You're poor.
I probably earn quite a bit more money than you.
I know, but you've just got the vibe.
I pour by. I'm okay with that. I do.
You earn more than me, but you seem poor. I seem like
That's I like it that way. Everyone assumes I don't have any money and they pay for things for me. I'm like, no.
Just by the way you dress and how you conduct it. No, I'm just trying to.
The amount of money in your bank account, like all those things.
No.
Just usual shit. I don't spend money on anything. I don't like spending money on things.
No?
Good.
Nah.
Is it not one thing you enjoy a splurge?
Records. That's it.
Records.
I spend loads of money on records.
Yeah.
Do you have a record player?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
You say that as if like most people who buy records.
Oh yeah, you know what? I guess a lot of people do buy
normally
records and they don't have
they
one.
just frame them and shit.
No, I actually listen. I listen.
Sang, you strike me as that kind of guy. Do you have someone who has records but not a record player?
No, I just like listening to music on my phone.
Great insight. Okay.
Sorry, I couldn't make it funny. Sorry.
I was so sincere. I'm really sorry. I was thinking. I was trying.
We love
my
you,
best.
Sax.
Yeah,
That's a
we
fucking
do love
legend,
you.
man.
We do love you, Sam. What a guy- 'cause
So tell us about this story though. That you were.
oh, for fuck.
I
So
don't know how long. Yeah.
no. So I was over in Paris
Mhm.
doing some shows, and so a guy came to a show. And the best way I can describe him, he looked like a Asda Smart Price Andrew Tate.
Nice.
Amazing.
He was just
Already on board.
bald, Ralph Lauren shirt, white, Yves Saint Laurent bum bag across his thing,
Mhm.
Gucci loafers, white trousers for some reason, hammered,
Wow.
absolutely shit faced.
Jeez.
Comes back afterwards and he's got this weird accent. So he's like, "Hey man, I just wanted to say I thought the comedy was so fucking great." And he's from apparently from Paraguay,
Okay, is that
Canada.
what that accent was? Okay.
Canada,
Yeah.
France,
Fuck off. He's not all from those 3 places.
and Colombia. Then I said, "Fuck off, you're not from all those places." He opens his little bag. He's got 4 passports
Oh,
Shit.
wow.
and 2 grand in different currencies.
Drug dealer. Jeez.
Then I said that I was sort of joking with you. He goes, "Oh, he's a drug dealer." And he's like, "I think what you guys do is great. I want to do more comedy." I was like, "Oh, okay." And then he's like,
Please don't cut me.
he's like, when you hug somebody
Yeah.
or someone puts their arm around you,
Yeah.
he just felt like a solid. He was like hugging a cinder block. He was just this like.
Wow.
He's like, "Yeah, so life was pretty rough. I got shot a couple times."
Oh my god.
I was like, "A couple?" After
Yeah.
after the
One.
like,
I came back for seconds.
after the first one, don't you just go no.
Jeez.
And he was what else? He's like, "I'm staying in Paris." I was like, "Oh, how long have you been in Paris for?" It's like 10 months. It's like, "Oh, where are you staying?" Just trying to have a normal conversation. So I'm staying near the airport because I need to be able to leave within half an hour.
Wow.
Follows up with,
Sketchy.
put it this way: I could kill somebody on this street and still make it out of Paris just fine.
That's a good unit of measurement, isn't it?
It's a
Jesus.
it's a Pablo Escobar-y
Yeah.
way to measure your life, 100%. Then he goes, "I escaped from one matrix in South America,
Oh, he's definitely Andrew Tate.
and then now I'm in Europe trying to build myself a different matrix." And then the last thing he said was, "I've got different currencies, also gold, because baby, they spend gold everywhere."
Yeah.
Then
wow.
he's like getting absolutely hammered, shit faced with us at the bar, and we thought he was going to leave. And he tried to get us to buy loads of drugs and tried to take us and he's like, "Do you guys want to come for a fancy dinner? I'll pay for you all. Do you want to come for a fancy dinner?"
No, I don't.
No, we went.
Yeah,
You
of course-
went?
Of course you gotta go.
You're then in the drug dealer's pocket.
Yeah. You gotta see how far it goes.
Yeah, so it was me and 3 of the comics, and we're
He
like,
asks you for a favor now, and you have to kind of do it.
it
You
did
just went out for dinner with the
it
guy.
did
You don't
cross
owe
our
him
mind.
anything.
It did cross our mind. But
God.
there's actually a component to this story that I would love your guys' opinion on at the end. But like, he took us in, he had a shitty little car. And we asked him why he had a shitty little car. And he's like, lay low under the radar, baby.
Yeah, smart.
So then he's
Like
absolutely
you, Dave.
very similar.
Like,
It's the
Laying
same
low under the
principle.
radar.
Same principle.
not even on
Exactly.
anyone's radar.
Yeah, and Dave deals
I
more
should
drugs.
start dealing drugs.
You got the
You
outfit.
should. Yeah. You
It's
got-
okay.
Do you know?
yeah.
Sorry, just really quickly. What I've noticed being at raves recently is I used to have drug dealers like ask me if I wanted to buy drugs, and now I have younger people asking me if they can buy drugs
That's
off me.
Yeah, full circle.
Yeah, it's
That's
nice.
beautiful.
You know what? Every time I'm like, oh, thank you, thank you for thinking that I could do that.
That's how you know you're growing up.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
nice.
I'm now the man responsible for the drugs.
Isn't that a nice feeling?
Yeah, it feels good.
Yeah. You're responsible.
So I think I should start dealing drugs.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, I
Anyway, sorry,
can-
as you were.
I can put you in touch. I'm pretty sure he's buying links.
He's half an hour from Paris.
So then he drove us absolutely hammered to the streets of Paris, playing Frank Sinatra at volume 120. And
King.
he's just screaming out
I hate
my
that.
way, driving down the boulevards of Paris.
Oh my God.
And he took us to this restaurant, which actually wasn't even that nice a restaurant, but it had a cigar room.
Okay.
Oh shit!
Okay.
Just pause there. That's
Feels
the
like a
vape
fire
thing.
alarm, doesn't
Did you- Vape.
All right, never mind.
Never mind. That's the guys heard the podcast being recorded.
Oh yeah, can you imagine?
Yeah, he's like, no way, guys.
I was just beatboxing. Let's just leave it at that.
Okay, so yeah,
So
he
that-
was going down singing.
Sing,
Frank Sinatra, put
scream
the-
out. We get to this restaurant and it wasn't even that nice, but it had a cigar room, and he wanted to go into the cigar room, and that's where I was like,
Oh my god. I'm so sorry. I have no idea.
Nah, I think it was just testing an alarm. I could hear it down there.
"Oh, is it okay?"
Do you want me to go out? And
No, let's
If
just
it
carry
happens
on.
a third time, then yeah.
Yeah. If
We'll
it's
hold you
and if it's a
responsible for
fourth time,
30%.
we will kill you. Yeah.
All right. Fair enough.
That is fair.
That's good.
That is fair.
yeah.
Dave, you meditate. Tom and I have got this.
yeah, in the corner. And so this
So he's got the cigar room.
he says, go to this little cigar room, and he asked us, "Do you want to go into
Ah.
this private cigar room?" And that's we were like, "Absolutely not."
No.
The one girl we were with was like, "I'll go."
Yeah,
Lunatic.
good.
That's what I said.
Lunatic.
And then,
No, good. Go for it.
well, here's the
She's a
thing:
woman, and he's a fucking crazy drug dealer.
6 foot.
Oh,
five,
what's the
big
worst they
dude.
could have?
Something pretty bad.
Yeah, that's true. So you should have all gone. Did you all go with it?
So we all said, "Maddie, are you sure?"
Yeah.
And she's like, "Yeah." Why you guys being weird about it?
Fucking
And we were like, basically, because
How old is this woman?
like late 20s.
Oh, she should know better.
That's what we said. And she's like, guys, I've hung out with way more dangerous people.
Then Mr. fucking 4 passports with $2,000 in his pocket saying he could kill someone and leave in half an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's not going to kill you.
You don't know that.
What would he gain?
Anyway,
from
so
that?
now you're having to go then by proxy.
Well,
What happened?
so one of the other lads went into the thingy, cigar room, and we were just like, he popped back out for like 10 minutes and gave us like, it's like some kind of a rap video. Just open this door, smoke behind him, just pops out like, everything's fine.
Yeah.
It's okay.
He's just smoking
It's okay.
cigars.
But then he wants to take the girl outside with him to the car.
Oh no, you can't do that. Yeah, that's
But he did because we tried to stop her going, and she's like, "Will you guys piss off? Like this guy's cool. I want to hang out with him."
Maddie.
Yeah, and she
She
shoved
has-
past us to get outside by herself.
I don't know this person, but I reckon she has really conservative middle class white parents, and she just wants to rebel. That's what it is.
If she,
Any
has,
well-adjusted person would not do that.
if she has middle class white parents, it would be a shock. She was a black girl from Senegal, but
Senegal.
yeah,
Where's Senegal?
Senegal, so a west coast of Africa, right?
Oh shit! Maybe she is hang out with more dangerous people.
Yeah.
Maybe that's true. Okay, so she wasn't okay.
But she lived in Paris for a very long time. But then she texted me the next day, and she's like, "I brought him back to my house."
Did you?
I
Did,
just-
did they bang?
She said they shared a kiss, which sounds very tame for a drug dealer, but it
Do
just
you know what that is? That's the bad boy fallacy, I reckon.
It's that, and also
That's
he
right,
has
yeah.
cocaine.
that's more.
Yeah, it's it.
I-
Well, no, she probably did want to fuck him as well, but primarily, which is all part of the mix, I guess. But primarily, and that is he has cocaine. She's been doing cocaine with him all night. You can't leave the person that has cocaine. You have to follow the person.
This
that
is
has
very
cocaine.
foreign to someone who hasn't been dependent ever on cocaine. So I don't know. So that's the thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Follow you.
I was with Dave. I was thinking that
Yeah.
he's like facilitating the party.
Of course, yeah, yeah.
Nice. I didn't
Yeah.
think that. Okay.
Yeah.
I assumed that the whole time. That's
Such a
what it
square
was.
man.
And I knew enough about myself to know I had to leave at like 11 p.m.
Yeah.
Just dug.
Oh no, I agree with you. I'm not interested in cocaine anymore.
Yeah.
But even then, there's part of me that would probably stay out just to see where it ended up.
Yeah. And
Because
Someone's known.
but the likelihood is okay. He's dangerous, but guys like that are not normally dangerous to you. They're gonna be dangerous to someone that's like involved with that they
Why
have
be
a reason
around
to
that person?
attack.
What was he doing? A cigar room?
Just to see what the fuck happens.
yeah, that was kind of our.
How many times are you
curiosity.
going to be around someone?
This
like that?
just doesn't coincide with your meditation. I feel like you should
No,
pick
it
out
absolutely
Calais.
does coincide with my meditation, and I'm just like, yeah, let's just see where it goes.
I'll be honest. I was.
Anyway, that's not what
pretty-
meditation is. Meditation is
about
not to stop me making bad decisions and trying to get in
Then
weird
what's the
situations.
point of it, then, Dave?
But I'm also doing it knowing it's dangerous. It's kind of like, well, this is sort of exciting. It's like why people do extreme sports.
I'm up
It's
for doing
exciting.
all that shit with someone I know, but if it's some random, I'm just like, I don't know.
But it's going to happen with some random. That's the best
Mhm.
times. It's always with some
No,
random.
I'd be ready for like a fucking fist.
I put myself in some very, very dangerous positions
doesn't
just to see
surprise
what
me.
would happen.
That doesn't surprise me.
No,
Yeah.
I don't think it would.
No.
But
Yeah.
it's all. I'm still here.
when you chase him at night, like anything can happen, can't it? You make very wild choices.
Yeah, especially if the type of if they have cocaine, you'll follow them pretty much anyway. And if they're the kind of person that's dealing that, then usually it's going to end fucking weird.
I mean, I'll be honest. I was pretty disappointed because he was. I think you're right. We were in very little actual real danger, but he
Would have been nice if he killed someone. So like,
a little bit, you know.
Yeah, like round the trip up a little bit. Like, oh, so guess you got murdered.
So I was either hoping for like a wild thing, like he was gonna do something wild, or the dinner we were going to was like the Ritz, and it was like Goodfellas, like you know they have the table
Yes.
ready, and
Yeah,
he's just
yeah,
like
yeah.
throwing cash around. It was like,
Fucking boring guy.
yeah, for a drug dealer,
Yeah.
I
pretty
probably
boring.
I
Pretty
probably
boring.
wouldn't invite them round to my house.
No.
That probably would be
Because I said to her like he
Wrong.
knows
Natural safe
like
space.
forever now. He knows where you are forever.
yeah.
So even if he's being cool tonight,
Because
Yeah.
that's the thing.
is he gonna be
With,
cool?
with one of
forever?
those
He'll be the
kind of
one guy
nights.
who calls you up at 2 a.m. in the morning saying, "Hey, I just need a favor. Can I come crash on your couch?" Sort of
Yeah, exactly. Well, it probably wouldn't be that, but one of those guys you don't want to have to stay in contact with them
No.
afterwards.
So he messaged a bunch of us the next day and was like, "How do I break into stand-up comedy? I want to break into stand-up comedy." He also said the weirdest thing in the bar was how many like, "Bro, I want to tell the most racist shit that nobody's ready for." And there's like a couple of black dudes like stood behind us, and one of them looked over and was like this, and I was like, "Why? Why is that the thing? Why is that what? Why do you want to be?" Why do you want? I felt like I was inside. You remember that Bill Burr joke, like how you know the N word's coming?
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like I was inside. I was like,
Oh my
I don't.
God.
I'm not going to be. I am not going to be accessory to an ass kicking just because.
Yeah.
But
you
that's the
can't
weird. That's the weird thing
control-
about guys like that is like that's sort of around 2 or 3 in the morning. It starts to get boring
Mm.
because at the first bit you're like, this is exciting. We're like, we're going from place to place. Like while you're going from place to place, you're all fucking doing blow and you're just running around. Like that's quite exciting. As soon as you get stationary and you realize like these people are really good at surviving and they're really like they're good in certain ways, almost like a idiot savant. You know, they're very good at certain things, but they're not really actually that interesting to talk to for that long because they are kind of dumb normally.
So that guy,
He nailed it.
Yeah.
But so
Yeah, I know. I've hung out with guys like that before.
So I've met people like that before, but you're saying you sort of realize that 2 or 3 in the morning. I get that within the first 10 to 15 minutes.
Is it?
These people, and I just can't. And I know, and because I guess I've never had that allure of like wanting to be near the drugs, and that's not really big a thing. I'm just sort of like, I don't want to be more. I don't want to be anywhere near this person for more than 5 to 10 minutes.
Oh no, the bit where you're like hopping around from place to place, that bit rules.
Not with that. Well, for me, if it was with that guy, I'd rather kill myself. I
Oh
don't
man,
wanna be
just
in-
like
in-
bombing around in someone's car.
not
They're
with some-
Playing my way.
they're fucking hammered,
So,
and you're like, well,
Dave,
I'm not getting pulled
I
over.
know, I know you're bombing around in someone's car, but for someone who actually owns a car and not a bike, like, it's not that impressive. It's I know cars.
Four wheels. 4 wheels.
I don't
Double the wheels.
I don't need a car. I live in zone 1.
You you
Buzz,
rent
buzz,
in
buzz,
zone
buzz.
1. You rent in zone 1. That's
Still live
not
there. You own in Croydon.
zone 5. Baby. Zone 5. But I own it.
Croydon.
I
Let's
own
be
it.
specific about it.
I can rent in zone 1. I just thought I've made better life.
Just don't want to.
I've made better life.
Have you?
Mm-hmm. Do you live by yourself in zone 1?
No, I live with my best mate.
Who is?
It's a 64-year-old plumber named Sean.
I say no more.
He's my best mate.
Did he get you to meditate? He got you to meditating.
No, I've been doing it like way
I
before.
would love
I've been
that.
doing
That would be great. It's a great.
Because
Years and years and years.
Sean is a lovely
Sean's
guy.
not doing that. So Sean's not meditating.
But
Sean
he's
can't sit
he's
still for
a
more
he's
than
a
5
white
minutes.
hippie with dreadlocks.
He's not a hippie. He's not a hippie.
How
at
would you
all.
describe
He's just
him?
got dreadlocks. He's just like a. He's just a real sort of like old school
First time I met
working
you,
class
acid
party
at
guy.
his house. He's got Che Guevara on the wall. He's got a unicorn. He's got peace and love. The guy's a fucking hippie, dude.
Nah, man, I know proper hippies. He's not a hippie.
Trust me, Tom saying if you saw this guy, you'd be like, he's dictionary definition hippie.
Nah, man.
Wait, what's a proper?
He's really
hippie?
not.
What's a proper?
Did you meet my cousin? My cousin's
No.
like a proper hippie. Like, I don't know. He's like, he's sort of like likes that sort of peace and love stuff, and he likes that the Che Guevara stuff because
hippie.
that was what was popular in counterculture around the time when he was around.
Right.
But
The guy's a fucking hippie.
he's not like
You're too
he's
close
not
to
like him with activism or anything like that.
Okay.
Like any of the sort of real belief stuff that
Yeah.
goes with being a hippie. He
Yeah.
doesn't have any of that. He just aesthetically looks like it, and he loves.
That's enough.
He used to when he was younger love
He's just a
acid.
lazy hippie.
Just
He's a lazy hippie.
Yeah, you know, like protesters, they'll post like a picture, either a black square or like the Ukraine flag, but they won't
Yeah.
actually go and protest.
No,
he's one of them, but like an old
he's
school
not.
one.
Yeah, but he's not lazy at all. He works all the time.
He's a lazy hippie.
He's really active. He's way more active than you.
Richard Nixon. This guy's a
Lazy hippie. If you show a photo of Sean, who's a lovely bloke,
Oh, yeah,
to
sure,
Tom
yeah.
and saying they will fucking say he's a hippie, 100%.
I know, of course, because you don't know him.
I do know him. He's a
You
hippie.
don't. You've met him like once.
Do you want to hold it to the camera? I can switch the camera.
Maybe don't dox him. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't want to be.
Yeah, we'll probably we'll look at it. Thanks, listen.
That's Shawnee.
Shawnee. I mean,
Come on,
David,
fucking
come on,
hippie. Thank you.
pal.
I'm fucking
Come
telling you.
on.
Zach, tell me he's not.
Come
That's what I'm saying.
on.
This guy's just fucking being pedantic the whole fucking. He's a hippie.
No, he isn't. I know him better than any of
Okay.
you guys.
Well, we're just not-
he's just like a
We're
crusty
not
looking guy.
saying we're better friends than you than you are. That's not the point.
We're having a conversation inside primary school. I'm not saying he's a better friend. He's very nice.
The guy's a fucking hippie. If I've ever seen a fucking hippie, and he's here, so he's not.
He's not.
There's only two genders.
What else are we going to disagree about?
There's only two genders. That's actually, and I like
That's what I was thinking.
Well, thank you, Sang. That brings us on to the next thing.
Just because he identifies as a hippie doesn't mean. Look, if he's got dreadlocks, if he walks like a duck, acts like a duck.
I don't know. I think there's a lot of like people.
I'm done arguing.
So, there's a
You're
lot of
right,
older
fine.
people I knew around Brighton that
Everyone
were
knows
like
he's a
real
hippie,
proper
I'm not gonna
hippies,
justify it.
Yeah.
and like I
We
speak
can-
to Sean all the time, and he's just not that guy. He like looks
We
like.
can
he
have a
would.
90-minute breakdown into what makes a hippie
Yeah.
another day, but that's fine.
And please, can we? 'Cause I think.
I'm in on that day, actually. I'm not going to be
Yeah.
around.
Yeah, so the thing that just to wrap up that story was the guy when he really wants to get into comedy, and it made me think like two things. One, like how must we be perceived by people like that? He's like, I could do what
What racist?
they seem.
They're like, yeah, we're all really racist.
I've all seen my act. Like you could look at somebody and be like, I feel like I'm a kindred with them. That's like one thing. And secondly, I was like, you know the show, TV show Barry,
Yeah.
where the guy's like a hitman and then he wants to be an actor because he thinks it's like a.
Well, you think it's
cathartic
gonna be like a real life version of that?
part of me was like, I wouldn't mind seeing where that went and like help him do
Well,
it.
you want to see what
And,
it's like when a cocaine dealer does comedy, because I can point some out to you that are doing it right now.
Michael,
Cocaine dealers?
yeah,
There's at
Yeah.
least one, and I'm not
Yeah.
going to say who it is on the
Off
air.
the show.
100%.
the
Yeah.
story of Michael McIntyre's rise.
Oh, yeah. Michael Baxter, allegedly. We all knew. No. Yeah, that's bizarre, though. Like, I you know what? So for me, I wouldn't want to see that guy do comedy, but I would love to see him try and die at plenty of open mics with $2,000 in his thing, with 4 passports, knowing I don't need to do this. I can literally travel across the world, but I'm here struggling to do shitty jokes.
Yes,
I would love to see that.
that's a
That'd be
great
fascinating.
point. Absolutely. And then
Yeah.
the other thing was like his perspective of comedy was if you're not doing, what he say was I want to do racist, I want to do sexist. Like if you're not, his perception of comedy was if you're not doing that, it's somehow not.
So I think from his, I mean, not to defend the drug dealer, but if I was to try and get inside his fucking cocaine-filled mind, I think what he's trying to say is the comedy that he finds exciting is
Mm.
ones where people are laughing at things you're not expected to laugh at,
Yeah.
or it's pushing boundaries and all that sort of stuff. And he's probably done it in a very crass way.
Yes.
And I think there's because, like, for example, and I think it's all subjective. Like I'm personally not really a big fan of whimsy, and if I see a particular special where someone's got a sock puppet and they're doing that as part of their little special, I can't stand it. But I have to appreciate that's chimes with some people. But he's probably just like he probably likes the idea of he probably sees himself. I mean, the guy's carrying 4 passports. He probably had a machete in his bag. He's probably thinking like he sees himself as this cool on the edge. Like, have you ever seen that? Was it Larry David's dangerous stand-up comedy on Netflix?
Larry Charles.
Larry Charles, even. So I was going to say Larry Charles' most dangerous stand-up comedy, and he goes to these comedians all across the world, from everywhere to like Iraq to South Africa and all this stuff.
Iraq, Afghanistan, Tottenham. Dangerous places in the world.
Hack.
That's Luke Oliver. That's a Luke Oliver joke.
Right, okay.
Oh,
It's called Luke
just
Hack.
fiddling around with this. You calling the king Luke Oliver?
No, I
Hack?
called you Hacks. I thought you said it, and then I just saw
And now you know it's Luke. You gotta take that
still
back.
Hack.
Still
No,
Hack.
no, no,
Whoa!
no.
Fucking shots fired.
No, I love Luke. But yeah, that idea of like
Tell him you said that.
when you, I'm sure he won't listen to this podcast.
He's gonna beat you up.
He does jujitsu, karate.
I reckon he's quick as shit.
Oh,
I
yeah.
reckon he can deliver like 5 punches.
My
in a
point
second.
being, he wants to be a cool guy.
Yeah.
Like there was I don't know if you watched some of those episodes, but there was a guy who was a comedian. I think it was in Afghanistan or Iraq.
Tottenham.
So bad. And he basically got captured by terrorists, and he was telling a story about how he managed to escape. And what they were doing, they were capturing civilians, and they were basically torturing them and like putting hooking them up to car batteries and shocking them and torturing them, just civilians. And he said he was able to escape getting tortured because him and a couple of mates got bags over their head, put into a van, and he said he was able to escape by making them laugh. They were like, "How the fuck did you make him laugh?" He goes, "Well, he was sitting there with his bag over his head, and they were in a row. So he was aware that he was on a row with people, and they were just literally picking someone off the row and torturing them and stuff." And when it came to him, he said, "They were like, right, you next." And he goes, "Okay, whatever you want, just no butt stuff." And they were like, "What?" He goes, "Do whatever you want, just no butt stuff, please." And they went and they started laughing, and he just basically told them how he managed to get out of them actually torturing him because he just made them laugh, and he had a bag over his head. It was life or death. And I just thought, he's a fucking cool guy.
That's so fascinating because in a small, I don't know how your guys' starting comedy was, but like I
Very
think
similar.
in a small way though.
Yeah, but I actually
In a
requested
small
butt
way?
stuff.
Because like I don't know. Yeah, that's on my rider. Yeah,
Doesn't surprise me.
I don't know how you. That was part of the bike thing, isn't it? But I know.
Yeah, I ain't got no saddle, bitch.
Ooh, cobbles.
Dave, you're supposed to have a bike seat on
I
the
just
bike.
said that joke.
Oh, no,
Tell me how I live. Tell me how I live.
You've got a helmet, but it's in the wrong place.
No, the helmet's in the right place. But because like you're saying about school and I started comedy. I started trying to be funny because you're like I don't want to get beat up or I would desperately want to just try and integrate into male friendships somehow.
Yeah.
So it's not as extreme, obviously not.
No,
extreme,
but I
it's
think
the same
I see
impulse.
exactly what you mean because like in my role in school was class clown, which was not really. I know if you guys obviously know class clowns. I mean, obviously, if you're not one of them, you think they're annoying as shit 'cause they are. But it was never. You're not a cool kid. You're not really the nerd, but you don't know where you are. So you just know if you try and make fun of things, and that's normally your nihilist. If there's nothing sacred, people will let you go, or they won't. They will just leave you alone.
Yeah.
So it is a self-defense mechanism.
So I've had this conversation with Jack before, who's away hiking in the Brecon Beacons at the minute, because he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I just did it because it was fun.
Yeah, but that's within Jack's repertoire. Like I don't genuinely believe that.
Yeah, me too.
And he's a very wholesome person.
Yeah.
But it is,
Because I was like, I was always popular. I always had loads of friends. I don't know what you're talking
and that
about.
doesn't surprise me either.
No, same.
You, on the other hand, when you said you were popular,
I was. No, I wasn't like one of the popular kids. It wasn't like one of the popular kids, but I've always had friends. I've never found it difficult to make friends.
I think with hair and no cap as well. That would, because I remember actually when we first met, you did have hair. It was fading, but you had hair.
Yeah.
I think, more. And you weren't wearing a cap then.
No, because I had hair.
Yeah.
It's a practical thing.
You looked good with hair, man.
Yeah.
Which group were you in at school?
David looked really good.
I was like a theatre dog.
Theatre dog.
Yeah.
Right.
But that was a bit. I don't know. It wasn't like an enormous school.
Yeah.
It was. So it wasn't like it was that difficult to just kind of integrate all the groups together. And I feel like by the end of it, I don't think anyone really gave a shit about any of like this sort of group mentality thing. It was all fairly mixed.
See, I remember my high school.
Like, I'm not gonna out there pretend like I was like the cool. I was a fucking dork, but like I generally got on with everyone. Also, you got to remember, like I got that weird thing in my hometown with the bonfire night. So so there was kind of like a leveling quality to that because if you were, not everyone was in that. So if you were in that,
who was the ethnic minority that was involved in the bonfire?
none. It's a small town in East Sussex, and there's no fucking ethnic minorities.
Ricky's got a tan. That's about as close as anyone got.
No, I don't know. I just generally got on with everyone. Most
Well,
of the
that's
time.
not interesting.
Yeah, no, it isn't, is it?
No.
So I kind of feel like I'm the
Yeah.
same as Jack. It was just fun.
But I think comics come from those two polarities.
Yeah.
There's you ever seen the show Crashing, the HBO show?
I saw a bit of it. I didn't see all of it.
I thought it was really good, but there's a scene in it where the Lucas brothers, like Pete Holmes meets the Lucas brothers, and they introduce him to the alt scene in Manhattan, and he's like, the alt scene, what's that for? And he's like, the Lucas brothers say there's guys who got called gay in high school, and there's
Oh.
guys who called people gay in high school,
Oh yeah.
and that's the
Yeah.
two types of comics. There's
Yeah.
and the alt scenes for people who got called gay in high school, and the club scenes for like, people who called people gay in high school.
Interesting. I mean, but the whole thing about, because obviously, I mean, same sort of age really, but it's like, you know, growing up in the noughties.
He's not.
Oh, still
38,
30, 31.
31, yeah,
All right.
still quite a long way off.
I mean, I think, like medically speaking, you're probably got the body of a 38-year-old. I never know if I've just pissed you off, Dave, or if you're just.
You're always pissing me off. Even if you're not saying anything, you're pissing me off. I just sit at home and then sometimes you won't even message me. I'll just think about you. I'll be like, fucking Kumas, mate. Fucking Kumas. It's something.
I fucking love you.
You're pissing me off yesterday. And then you get that, I'm like, easy.
What were we talking about? Being called. That's a really interesting way. People who are called gay and people who are making stuff gay. I definitely was. I was one of those annoying kids where it was like being calling someone gay or calling something gay. You weren't even thinking of the
Sexual.
homoerotic connotations. It was just another word for stupid. And I remember it was one of my best mates came out as gay. And it was like a big thing for me. So I was like, oh my God, he's gay, he's gay. And then as soon as I realized, it makes no fucking difference. So I think nothing's changed. It's just the fact that I thought he was one way, then he wasn't. It was like, we won't talk about girls anymore. We never talked about girls. We weren't cool, right? We never talked about, there was no girls to be had. And once that changed, it was just like, you know, the whole world sort of flipped. And then I try and limit myself from saying that's gay now, because I think that's just as weird as if somebody's saying, oh, that's black.
Yeah,
What?
yeah,
It's a
totally.
weird thing. But then every now and again you'll say it because you think it's awkward and it's funny. But yeah, I guess it's just finding out there's not, you know, yeah. I don't know. I was definitely one of those kids who called people gay or called things gay. But I can't. It sounds naive to say, but when I was saying it at the time, I wasn't saying it as if that's very homosexual. Or
Oh,
whatever.
yeah.
It was just like that's stupid. It was like
Yeah.
it's like a slang term for whatever. And I think now that I'm aware of that, and obviously it's been enough times progressed. Like you shouldn't do that because it's not helpful
Oh yeah,
for gay people.
yeah, but yeah, your 14-year-old self didn't. know
No,
that.
exactly. I feel like if
Yeah.
I was 14 and I had like Facebook and Twitter at that age, I would have been fucking said some horrible shit.
Oh yeah, because like Dave says, because I'm almost a decade older than you guys. The gap when I go back and look back at my Facebook from when I was like 18, and not there's anything like
Yeah.
horrendous on there, but like just the way you talk
Yeah.
and like how strident you are about like
Yeah.
your opinions and like.
I don't even know what strident means, but it's just one of those things where like you know,
You don't know what strident means?
I can guess from context.
Go on then, have a guess.
Confident.
Yeah, certain.
There you go.
Just
There you
too
go.
certain.
So you do know?
No, I didn't. I just guessed from
Yeah.
context.
That's all right.
Nothing. Yeah.
I thought it was going to lead to something more, and,
And
then
in,
it didn't.
and in a
We just
weird,
kinda met at
in a
an
weird way,
impasse.
showed how clever Adam actually is because I just pieced that together from
Yeah,
nothing.
just from context.
strident.
Yeah, very strident in his response. to
But
it.
yeah, very sure. Yeah, but I think that's necessary though. I don't think we should villainize. I mean, we're not saying that we even talk about that, but I do think it's important for anyone. Whatever. So it might not be. Kids today are probably too clued up to say no. That saying gay is bad, but they might not be clued up with saying. Some kids might be saying there's only two genders, like Sang was talking about earlier. You know, and he was.
Yeah, I mean, I will say
For a
I don't
long
agree with
strident,
Sang
yeah,
at
very
all. I
strident,
actually
very
don't
strident
agree with
for a
Sang.
long time.
yeah,
I think we all need to say here right now, we don't agree with Sang.
he was talking
Yeah.
about chromosomes. It was
We
very
do not.
weird.
We do not stand with Stan. That's important.
Okay,
Sorry.
no more characters. I'm trying to be fun. This is what I
We've seen your Facebook statement.
Stop this Asian hate right now.
That's only an American thing. We don't have that over here.
different Asians. So.
Oh, it's true. Yeah, isn't that interesting?
Yeah, it's against you.
Mhm.
Yeah, Asians different over here. But yeah, I think that's important for just self-development and
Yeah.
growth. You should have those formative years when you're saying stupid things. And I used to have this really horrible habit as a kid where I used to just be fucking spitting everywhere.
Oh,
Gross.
that is
grim.
gross.
But I thought it was cool. I was like 12, 13, kind of go, ugh. And then it was only like, who was it? I think it was my friend Yasmin. She just goes, "That's nasty. You shouldn't do that." And I was like, "Really?" I started thinking about it. I was like, "Yeah, she's right. Fucking hell."
Yeah.
But it's, you need that. You need those. You can't. You shouldn't hold people to how they were as kids because it's not fun, you know?
Crazy.
Who comes out? Which psychopaths come out as the finished article when they, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, absolutely not.
Mm.
Like I remember being I did a horrific thing. I was about 14, 15. I think they're the worst years for a boy when you're like you
Yeah.
because like 12, 13, you're kind of like just maybe cresting on the puberty thing, but 14, 15, you're like things are happening. I remember walking down the street in Spain. And I don't know why I was so angry, but similar to your spitting thing,
Mm.
I just was shoulder barging people
Really?
Yeah.
walking down the street.
Yeah.
You?
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's
I-
weird to
I was,
imagine.
oh, mate, so like when I was growing up, I was like big into rugby. That was my identity. I was like, I was
Right.
like I was like,
Tough guy.
and I was the smallest kid on the rugby team. But I was still
Yeah.
a rugby player. And I was still
Yeah.
good at rugby.
Yeah, you still got
Yeah.
shoulders.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I was still. I don't. When you're 15, it's like the first time you sort of start
Mm.
to.
What if that's a dominance thing in terms of being like, look, yes, I might be a bit shorter, but I'm not getting pushed around by nobody. So I'm gonna make sure that if you're not gonna be aware enough to duck, I'm gonna fucking make sure.
There's a lot of that.
Yeah.
I remember my brother
Mhm.
who. It was when you're the oldest as well. You go through everything first.
Yeah.
And my brother, who I think up until that point,
Your brother's older, is he?
young. I'm the oldest.
Oh yes, yeah. Right.
So my brother was only 18 months apart. He ran after me and he was like, "What are you doing?" And I basically said a version of what you just said, like, "It's their fault if they don't get out of the way."
Yeah.
But I guess if I'd have been YouTubed doing
Oh
that
my
or
God.
something, or if someone had have like
yeah.
filmed me.
Well, there was
doing
that
like,
kid who went to Asda and he was doing some horrible shit. But a kid, do you remember that video that went viral? It was a kid,
What,
two
recently?
kids, about a year ago.
Oh yeah.
They were this was around during the pandemic or something, and then they were on their bikes, little shits, just saying some horrible shit like, "I'll fucking cut you, I'll cut you, this," and like horrible actually abusing the staff, but they couldn't have been more than like 11, couldn't have been older than 13 years old. And then the video went viral, and then his dad marched the kid down and saying, "I fucking raised you better than that, you apologize." And the kid just suddenly a completely different thing, went back to a kid with a tail between his legs saying, "Sorry, I was just sorry." And it was it was just that macho sort of thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if that's a problem for kids. Saying you're 13, well, how does that? How does, like
12 actually.
12. Is that still a thing, or is kids more woke now? Like in terms of like the idea of being like for a 30, someone who's younger. I'm being obviously facetious, but like someone who's younger, is the idea of coming across stoic or manly, is that seen as less than now, and it's more trendy or more acceptable to be in touch with your feelings and that sort of stuff?
I do. I'm 28, so I'm not that young.
Oh fuck, you're the same. You just
Yeah.
you just
You just look
moisturize
young.
very well. Yeah, you look young, man.
Thank you. I mean, I'm trying. So I do think, and I also used to be a teacher. So from my observation, I do think that's partially true. But at the same time, like there'll be like like kids wanting to act tough and like everything, like the whole everything all the time as well. The traditional like the media masculinity. I think it really depends on the social group, and then definitely when I was growing up, like I was still called gay. Actually, like one of my nicknames.
I apologize for that.
Yeah.
I was drunk when I said that tweet.
I know, and it's fine. I love you now. So we'll.
I meant it.
That's fine. That's fine. What? You listen to your body. It really. I think it really depends. Also, I grew up in Korea and also in the States in the early 2000s. Yeah, so I can't really give you like a solid answer on that, depending on the location. Yeah.
I have to admit, as soon as you said you're 28, I regretted asking you the question. I thought you were like 22,
Because
Thank you.
there's like a whole
just
thing,
because of the mental attitude and everything else.
there's a whole. I'd love. When did you finish teaching?
Yesterday.
Okay, give me a chance. Like 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
Because there's a thing happening now. So you guys seen the trad revival thing that's happening?
Traditional wives.
Yeah, that's a big thing that's
Yeah.
happening.
Oh, well, it's like a Twitter thing, right?
It's a Twitter thing, but it's starting to permeate a bit more into real culture. Because you mentioned the 40-year-old woman who's like, I want a 6'4" rugby player.
Yeah,
thing.
traditional.
So there's like a bit of a thing now where at least some people are saying, well, I pursued this path and it didn't really go anywhere, and now I'm a bit regretful of it.
Yeah.
There's a similar thing that you see popping up now a bit more with high school aged kids, where the guys who are getting the girls are like working out, playing football, and there's kind of a little bit of a, oh, what's going on over here? Why are those guys?
Well, it's
still popular with
like
girls.
I think I mentioned it a few months ago, but like at least some of the women I've sort of dated in the past, and some huge feminists bordering on misandry.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm thinking, well, when they were telling me about like what the problem with men is, I was thinking, I'm all of those things. Why are we dating? And she's like, I don't know, I just thought you were hot.
Yeah.
It was like, that's an interesting concept.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think it seems to be, I mean, I can't speak for everyone, but I think people, if you listen to like, all the things bad about men, especially, and you get sucked into this vortex of what it is to be a man, how toxic it is, you'd think every woman wants a man who does his fucking toenails and, wears nail polish and is super in touch and cries all the time and meditates 25 minutes every morning and...
Rides a bike exclusively, yeah.
Well, the reality is they actually just want a guy who looks like Dave but isn't Dave, and I think that's Dave's problem with the dating scene.
Yeah, that is largely it. That is pretty much summed up.
You look like, I mean, barring the cap, you look like a man. You take that cap off, you look like a man.
Yeah, I am a man.
No,
I know,
boy with the cap.
I'm objectively a man.
Yeah, but that's the thing, and I think that's the interesting concept because I feel like.
But then inside, I'm a little boy.
Yeah. Well, the bit that got lost in translation is you want. I think.
No, I'm not. Genuinely, I'm asking that. What's because you said outwardly I'm a man, but then you didn't say the second bit to it. What was the second bit?
Oh, I was trying to, in a roundabout funny way, say you're a bitch or something.
Say I'm a bitch.
Yeah, it's got too real now. It's supposed to be funny.
Yeah,
he's bailed on his punch.
Also,
Also,
I'm not. So
yeah.
I know.
So, because I think what everyone misses is like they want, like I think Hattie Preston does this better than most people.
Amazing
I think,
comment.
in her stuff. Like,
legit,
that bitch you got about toxic.
no one goes
so
back
funny.
home, types into Pornhub, a kind man with nice eyes.
Yeah.
A kind man with a
good soul.
That's
Good
it.
soul.
Yeah,
Good
yeah.
soul.
Yeah,
It's a
100%.
good joke.
We all remember that joke because it all resonates.
I think it was one of the
Yeah.
first ones I remember hearing from Hattie and just being like, "That's fucking
amazing.
No.
that's a business right there."
That whole section, that whole chunk is fantastic.
true.
But it's the truth, which is ideally a woman, I guess, would want someone who's strong, capable, but is also able to be sensitive.
Yeah, of course.
But not someone who's sensitive
Overly
all the time,
sensitive.
24/7.
It's I think what normally gets misconstrued is the fact that if you get someone who's maybe strong or they're stoic or they're this or this, they almost assume that they have to be an arsehole.
Yes.
Or they're going to be something,
Yes.
they're going to be awful, like they're going to be a domestic abuser or something like that. When the reality is most guys probably aren't that, or most guys won't be that. But we shouldn't be villainizing certain traits which are typical with men, like whether it is being stoic or whatever. But yeah, very interesting sort of concept.
Yeah, I
Do you
agree.
think of yourself as a stoic person?
I like to think so.
Yeah, I don't think you are.
I don't bitch about my problems.
Well, you said that, like, what do I bitch about? I guess I do bitch about my problems.
There you go.
Yeah,
done. Yeah,
but I didn't pretend I'm a stoic.
No.
Yeah. Well, it's like an ambition, right?
But it's not for you. Yeah, but it's not for you to say that you're a stoic. I think it's how other people would describe you.
Yeah.
So if other people describe you as such, then maybe you are. Right?
Well, no, you absolutely can. I mean,
Yeah.
stoicism is a philosophical principle that you can live by.
But it's like saying you're charming or whatever, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
you wouldn't want to self-identify. As
A little bit of sick comes up in your head.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be weird.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I had a guy in an audience one time. I said, "You're a regular looking man," and he went, "Yeah."
Oh
And
god.
It was no, but the worst thing was he was so objectively good looking that it was like, well, he's right.
No, I would have taken
Do you
it
know-
down to
No, you couldn't even.
I could.
She was just like, "You're right."
I
I made fun of him for being like for saying it, but I also
He must have been
couldn't argue.
Was
with
he
it.
a model or something? Because
I didn't get into it. But he was with a very beautiful lady as well, and they were both into that, like I can't remember what the name of it is, but the S&M practice that's sort of from Japan. But yeah, but it's with ropes, and it's all very.
oh
I don't know.
Is it begins with a H or something?
yeah,
like
yeah. But
All I can think of is hibachi, but that's
Same,
it.
that's
Yeah. But that's the thing with
I was thinking of hentai, but that's with tentacles.
yeah, that's cartoon porn. No,
Uh,
it was something else.
right, boys.
Are we done?
Yeah, that's been an absolute
All
cracker.
right, good. Let's end it on tentacle porn.
Yeah, let's end it on tentacle porn. Tell the people where they can find you, Adam.
You can find me on Pornhub. No, you can find me on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all at Adam Kumas, COUMAS. Same everywhere.
At David Michael Anthony Comedy. Follow at Will Hit Comedy.
I was going to criticize you.
He's the
Yeah.
king.
And Thomas Henry Comedy on all platforms. This has been another episode of Having the Crack. Cheers, lads.
Thank you.
See you next week. Cheers, Sam.
Bye.
All right, that's it. Thanks,
Awesome.
guys.
That was a lot of fun.
That was good.
Tom and Jack having a crack. Tom and Jack having a crack. Tom and Jack having